Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, Firefly Tarot. I hope that everyone's doing well. So for today's reading, I wanted to see what Spirit had for us regarding any kind of energies or even situations or anything that Spirit is advising us to leave behind in 2022. So I've been really emphasizing this transition because it's, to me, not only the end of a year and the beginning of a new year coming up, but definitely the beginning of a new cycle as well. So I have definitely been feeling a collective shift. I think other people have as well. You know, you can let me know if this is something that you've been feeling, just like this huge collective energy shift. So that is the reading for today. Just any advice that Spirit wants you to, any energies that Spirit wants you to leave behind in this year, or again, either situations or anything like that. Just please be aware that, of course, you know, this is just... these are just channeled messages, and as always, just follow your intuition, your best judgment in terms of your path, and obviously decision making as well. So I'm going to show you the 4 groups here. Remember, it's a general reading, and info for personal readings is always in the description. I'm going to open slots on the 22nd of every month, I think, from now on. So you can check back. I'll let you know in the announcements for that. So I'll show you each one. I just wanted to say I'm a little hesitant today because I got, for some reason, an age restriction on my last video, and I was trying to figure out why. So whoops, like, I don't know what I did. So I don't know if it's just like my weird camera angle or some of the cards have like technically nude people, but I was like, I can't exactly Sharpie over their bodies. So sorry, YouTube, but I can't really do much about that. If you guys can give me some suggestions, please let me know on how to, like, you know, fix that issue. So anyway, so here are the 4 groups. I'm going to show you each one. Timestamps are below. So group number 1, I think this is how you pronounce it. This is goniatite. I believe that's how you say it. So this is group number 1. Group number 2 is this orange aura quartz. Group number 3 is the desert rose selenite. And group number 4, it's dusty. Group number 4 is the smoky quartz. Okay. So as always, just go with your gut level intuition. Only if it calls to you, only if the video calls to you, or any of the groups call to you. You know, it is advised to never force it. Just go with your gut feeling. Okay, so take as much time as you need, and whenever you are ready, I will see you at your reading. Hey everyone, this is the reading for those of you that chose group number 1, which is the goniatite. So let's shuffle. Spirit, this reading is for group 1, please, and the energies for what you're advising them to leave behind in 2022. Please provide us clear guided messages for group 1. Thank you. Spirit, for group 1, please. I'm not honestly sure how to start this reading, but let's just kind of dive in. Spirit, what is your advice for group number 1 in terms of what you would like them to leave behind this year in 2022? Group 1, what should they leave behind? As I said in the intro, you know, this is just guidance. Please always follow your intuition and your best judgment. Spirit, group 1, what would you like them to leave behind in 2022? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let me get a full picture here because I could guess. Ace of Pentacles is your first card. Spirit, what should they leave behind? What would you like them to leave behind in 2022? This is most likely going to be something about your job / career or any kind of related areas. So sorry about that. Let's take a look here. You have the Ace of Pentacles, the 6 of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles. Wow. And then the 4 of Pentacles. Interesting. So yeah, I do think that it's about that particular area of life. Let me read into this just a little bit though. Okay. So this is what you have, group 1. Okay, let me tell you the story as I always do. This is how I read. I have to kind of blur out the story and then I'll get the messages. So with this Six of Cups, what I'm feeling from this is that you have a love for a particular thing that you do with either your job or any kind of like areas relating to your career path or job. And if some of you aren't, working right now, it could be something relating to even home, stuff that you guys probably consider work. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it is work, obviously, but like something you consider like related to career path in that sense. So, Ace of Pentacles, Six of Cups, again, it shows like this very loving spirit, this very giving spirit. I do sense the generosity coming from here in all ways. And Ten of Pentacles is even like a comfort, maybe just sort of this familiar tone, even like a family kind of tone. And for some of you, it is literally family. And then with the Four of Pentacles, it's giving me this vibe that for a lot of you, perhaps you've been doing this for a while. Maybe it's, again, familiar. Maybe you're used to it. Maybe you're kind of maybe in a pattern or a rhythm where you're used to the same things, routines, or, ideas or something kind of like that. So this is interesting to me that Spirit is bringing this up here. So I'm going to investigate this a little bit more, but I think what Spirit is getting at in terms of you leaving behind something could be staying within the same square, kind of like staying in your comfort zone, or I guess like a box in some way. So what they could be suggesting is that there's more for you in this area of life, whether this is just like exploring higher levels or different ideas, different directions. For some of you, if you are right now unhappy with what you do for your career, your job, whatever, Spirit is really asking you to kind of step forward and brainstorm things that you could do to align with your happiness, with your fulfillment and your passions. And this is probably something you've heard me say a lot in other pick of cards. So again, they're asking you to either explore different options with regard to your job and career area of life, or just to kind of expand yourself. So again, we're going to keep digging here and see what they have. Spirit, what do you want them to leave behind in 2022, please, specifically? I'm kind of getting a lot of different messages from just these the first four cards. If there happens to be some kind of imbalance in this area of your life, such as you're doing too much, or, being given too little, being considered too little, or something like that. Even some of you flat out, maybe it's that you're being disregarded or ignored, or, your needs aren't being met, that kind of thing. That's another thing adding to this. They want you to leave behind, again, I think it's like maybe the word complacency, or in this case here, they want you to leave behind the thought that you don't deserve more than what you're getting. The Judgment card is here as well. And I feel that they're hinting that there is some sort of a higher calling, or a call for more in some way in your life, in this area of life, where you could be there. Maybe there is this vision where you could be receiving more, or rising higher, or being more fulfilled in some way, being treated more fairly in some way. I do feel that there's a lot of conflicting messages here. That's why I'm kind of hesitant. This all really, I think, would depend on how you're feeling currently in this area of your life. So again, if you do feel like there's unfairness, okay, if you do feel like there's some level of dissatisfaction, this is precisely what Spirit wants you to leave behind. Now, if that means you're going to leave completely, or ask for more, or just make some changes, again, that part is up to you, but they're highlighting this. They want you to know that you are worthy to receive more, that you are worthy to be treated with more fairness, or whatever the case is. It could be fairness, kindness, consideration, all kinds of things like that. And then another obvious piece of it with the Ten of Pentacles, I think, is that you're worthy to receive more prosperity too. So let's get a little bit more. And another reason why the messages are kind of all hitting me at once is because everyone, I think, has different situations. All kinds of, circumstances across the board with work and career right now, and home. It's kind of hard to read for it's like all mishmash. Like, Spirit, what else can you tell us? Can you give us more information for group 1? What would you like them to leave behind in 2022 specifically? The Fool. Okay. For some reason, your messages are coming through in an opposite kind of way. So I'm asking what to leave behind, but they're kind of implying of what you can think to grasp in the next year. Instead of to leave behind, what can you introduce, I think is kind of what their point is here. So with the Fool, this is, I think, the attitude that they're advising you to take towards the end of the year, towards the beginning of next year. Some of you are being advised to have more faith within the situation, within yourself. Some of you might have to take a leap of faith if this is what is aligning with your intuition, at least, or it will align with your intuition in the next few weeks. To take a leap of faith in the direction of something new, right? So again, kind of lining up with the Ace of Pentacles here, I think that your energy, I think your subconscious energy, and maybe a little bit of conscious energy too, has been focused on this new beginning with your career specifically. I feel like there's a lot of questions. There could have been a lot of inner conflict, confusion. And now I'm kind of understanding why I was stumbling for the first few minutes here. It was really tough for me to get this clarity. So let's keep going. I think maybe it was I had myself an issue with the question. Like, I don't know. Spirit, can you just tell us what is your advice for group 1 in general? Okay, with this here, the message is something to the effect of they want you to see yourself as a boss. They want you to see yourself as someone with authority, someone with power over their lives or over their wants, over their, just general sense of direction. They want you to know that you do have the energy, the power to create this sort of life for yourself. They want you to see yourself in this light, or begin to see yourself in this light. Because again, over here, what I was feeling was like such a giving, generous energy to the point where it becomes, or it can become for some of you, neglect of self. Okay, so it's that in itself is an imbalance of energy. When it becomes too little for you, we have here the King of Pentacles as well. We have the Three of Swords. There could have been some work trauma. I will kind of put it just directly. Work trauma or some kind of negative experience that was wounding for you in the past or even in the present. This could be happening. Or it could have just been stress, and stress is very traumatic in itself, like especially if it gives you physical symptoms. There's a lot of energy now kind of pouring through. I can feel a complete shift when I started to draw these cards. And you know what this is? This, again, is the same thing. This is your wants as a human being. These are your wants and your needs as a human being. And I just wonder if you have been cared for in your careers or your jobs or like your whatever, your situations. I wonder if you've been properly cared for, and if that is not the case, they want you to begin to care for you. Okay, so again, what do they want you to leave behind is that attitude or idea that you have to be neglected or kind of like receive the short end of the stick or something like that. This is all about your perception of yourself, the way that you see yourself, the way that you envision your future, your trajectory with your success. Okay, so now it's getting into a deeper subject, your idea of success. That, I think, is going to be anxiety provoking for some of you. It can be, because with the idea of success, we have, unfortunately, a lot of the times, the fear of failure, right? So it's like it kind of goes hand in hand, like a fear of success and a fear of failure. This is usually something subconscious. We can't really catch it until, much later, and it can be paralyzing for a lot of people. So I don't know if that is going to resonate for you guys. If you want, you can check out some of my readings for blockages, because I've done that before. Maybe I'm going to link that below just in case. Let me write that down over here. So yeah, that could be something that they're also asking you to leave behind. Again, sort of like opening your mindset to really think about this. Like, have you been limiting yourself and you just haven't been aware of it? Okay, so that's there as well. So yeah, group 1, this is what I'm getting for you so far. It's both internal and external. So they're asking you to leave behind a particular mindset with regard to your self-worth, and they're asking you to leave behind the restrictions with this area of life. I'm not really seeing them asking you to completely leave. That's really not what I'm seeing. However, I will say that if a lot of you, or if some of you are just completely unhappy with what you're doing, then that's sort of a given. But it's entirely up to you. Is there anything else, Spirit, that group number 1 needs to know? What do you want them to leave behind in 2022, please? Any other advice, messages, guidance for group 1? What do they need to hear? Thank you. You have the 5 of Swords. That's kind of like a little bit of an unrelated but related message. I'll get that in a second. Anything else? Okay, so 2 things. One of them is external and the other is internal. I mean, it's very much overlapping here, but there could be some battles within the environment or the workspace, okay? There could be some battles, and this will leave you feeling unsettled and a lot of the times anxious, I think. So when I say battles, I kind of mean just some of them are petty, some of them are trivial, some of them are just almost like random negativity that you might be exposed to on a regular basis. The other is a bit more of a longer lasting kind of a thing. This is battles, exhaustion, and just like repeating cycles of battle or negative energy. How can they leave this behind if they're in it, though, Spirit? What can they do here? I mean, one thing they want you to do is to cleanse. They want you to cleanse your energy. Definitely always protect your energy. That's why I left that how-to video down below of how to protect your aura. I left it there like a while ago. They want you to protect your energy, cleanse your energy, and they also want you to detach from this energy. So that's another thing they want you to leave behind, is sort of the attachment of the way that the energy attaches to you. So I think you can best do this through just meditating and picturing all of the cords that surround you just like snapping or, washing away, and just picture yourself floating in your own individual protected bubble or force field. That's one way you could detach. You could also just use a simple affirmation, like I let go of people's negativity, or I am protected from, or I detach from it. Anything like that would work. Any other final messages, please, group 1, and then I'll just get a final advice or message for you. What would you like them to leave behind in 2022, please? Again, I don't know why, but your energy, your question is almost reversed in a weird way, because this I can see is what they want you to move towards. And I think that you're very ready to do this. You have the 9 of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and the 8 of Wands. This is a lot of fiery, passionate energy. This is the energy of prosperity, of success, even wealth or luxury for some of you, like with that 9 of Pentacles here. And there is it's like this dynamic movement. There's a lot of high-powered fire energy here too behind these two cards right here, and it just feels like you're excited about something. And I feel like they are giving me a little bit of a hint here. If you're watching this in December when I'm posting, something is going to come through in February, specifically February, and maybe like just around that general time frame where you're going to pick up in energy, you're going to pick up in passion. And again, the reason for this is because you've let go of some of these limitations so that you can allow for the space for this other energy to come through. So again, it's like a reverse message there, strangely, but that's what I'm seeing. So the final thing I want to get for you is just, I don't know which oracle deck to use, but let's just go with the energy oracle for today, and that's the final message. Spirit, what is your final message for group number 1, please? What do they need to hear from you today? Thank you. Yeah, a little difficult to read here today. I don't know. Maybe it was that subconscious fear, and now I do understand more. Look at the cards that you got. You got third chakra, Archangel Camuel, and all tied up. You see? this is exactly what we were talking about. There's a restriction here. There's this idea perhaps that you are, held captive, or you're restricted by something. This is very much Eight of Swords type of energy, where they're trying to get at, you're not actually tied up, but you might feel like you are. You might think that you're trapped or stuck in some way, but you this might be an illusion, at least mentally. It might be false. And then over here, the reason why this is related is because the third chakra has to do with self-worthiness and confidence. So I think that that's the biggest message here, is to free yourself from these ties. Okay, so again, you can meditate on this and visualize, and this is energy work when you visualize, to free yourself from the chains, the ties, the ropes, and just to picture yourself unburdened and free, soaring towards that new beginning. And this is only something that you can allow yourself to do. Of course, you can call upon your angels or higher level beings of any kind to assist you in this, okay? Yeah, that was hard for me to get. I don't know, group one. Let me know if it resonated, because that was tricky for me. It was very much like I felt throughout the whole reading, I felt the hesitation, the underlying fears, almost like you're shrinking your energy on purpose for some reason, even though you're someone who can shine bright. I don't know. Again, let me know if this resonated. So again, I will link below some other readings that I've done that I think might be helpful. So group one, that's what I have for you. Thank you so much. If you found this helpful, feel free to subscribe, share, and all that stuff. Any other info that you might need is below, including personal reading info if you're interested. Thank you so much. Sending you love, and I will see you next time. Okay, take care. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, this is the reading for those of you that chose group number 2, which is the Orange Aura Quartz. So I'm going to shuffle, get into your energy, and as I quickly learned in group 1, I may have to slightly open up the question for some of this reading. So you'll see what I mean. Spirit, this reading is for group number 2, please, the Orange Aura Quartz. And the energies for them, especially what you want them to leave behind in 2022. Thank you. Please provide us clear guided messages for group 2. Okay, so they may tell you either what they want you to leave behind, or what they want you to introduce in 2023. Either way, it'll be clear when I get the messages. Spirit, for group 2, please, Orange Aura Quartz. What do you advise them to leave behind in 2022? Thank you. Group 2. What do you advise them to leave behind in this year, 2022? Interesting first card. You got the Emperor. I'll show you in a second. What else? What do you advise them to leave behind? And again, as I said in the intro, please just follow your intuition and best judgment. You don't have to, ever listen to anybody. Just like, this might confirm what you already felt. Okay, so you got the Emperor, the Knight of Swords. You got the Death card. And then you got the Ten of Cups. Whoops. Okay, so, the Emperor. Now, the reason why the Emperor is going to be a little tricky is because for some of you, this could represent either a part of yourself or a situation, and then, or it could represent even another person. So for this, obviously, a general reading, it's going to resonate a little bit differently for everyone. But the first thing that I got from this Emperor card was control, like something being too controlling, too rigid, too just, kind of without any imagination, flexibility, or freedom in some sense. And again, that can resonate very differently. With the Knight of Swords, it's almost like this internal feeling of wanting to escape that. So I think that you've already been thinking about this. You've already been feeling intuitively, or even thinking consciously, that you wish to sort of get away from this. I don't want to say like run away, but you want to escape this energy. And what you truly do want instead is this Ten of Cups. So I thought that the cards would all answer one question. Instead, it's a little bit of a mix. So what you want instead is sort of this this energy of harmony, a happy ending, freedom, peace. This feels good, this Ten of Cups, to just hold this. It feels really good. It does feel like freedom. It feels like, you know, a bright blue day, as you can see, the rainbow in the sky, and just a feeling of peace, of contentment. The Death card over here, I kind of feel, especially because it did sort of land in the reverse, even though it's whatever. I kind of don't pick and choose anymore. I feel like this is a cycle. So for some of you, not 100% of you, but I feel like with the Death card, there is some kind of a cycle that you have been in with this Emperor energy. Okay, so again, it's the energy of either something or someone being overly rigid and controlling, and in certain cases, close-minded. If this is you dealing with another person, then this is going to be kind of obvious. However, if you feel like on some level this might resonate with how you feel towards yourself or how you've been treating yourself, that might be a little harder to kind of look into. I'll give you an example though. Let's say that maybe you have a rigid expectation for what you want to do or what you want to be. Then this might look like, oh, I have to do it this way, or I have to be this way. My life has to turn out this way. This is what it should be. You know, that's an example of rigid expectations that can be very limiting and can be really defeating, honestly. So the answer to this, like what Spirit is advising you to do, is to leave this controlling, rigid sort of energy, or, you know, closed energy behind, and move towards this openness, this peace, this freedom. This is more balanced. This is more relaxed, you know. So speaking of relaxed, there also could be within the Emperor card, again, this, I am seeing cycle, I am seeing pattern. This could be anything that is extremely stressful for you, anything that makes you feel, you know, like, you know, I could feel it, just like the claw, like anything that makes you feel stressed, anxious, tense. They just want you to do away with this. They want you to leave this behind because, I mean, of obvious reasons, but it is not serving you. It's making you, and I guess for some of you, it can even be making you physically have symptoms, like either physical sort of stress, illness, sickness, whatever. Spirit, what else? What do you advise them to leave behind in 2022, please? Group 2, Orange Aura Quartz. Yeah, they want you to be more free, to have more joy, enjoyment in your life. And that's what I think of when I see orange. It's just very carefree and spontaneous. What else would you like them to leave behind in 2022? Group 2, please. This is the same message, but just a little bit more. We have the Six of Wands here. Now, they're not saying, oh yeah, leave behind your victory and success. They're asking you to leave behind a particular, again, same thing, a particular limited expectation that you may have in terms of your versions of success. Just for a second, they want you to think about success and how you view success, right? People have all kinds of different definitions for this, but as I've said in other readings, try to view success as the way that you feel instead of other external things, such as what you have or what you've done or whatever. If you can kind of define success differently, then you've already would have succeeded. You know, if you are able to feel that feeling in that moment, such as being present, such as being peaceful, such as being self-loving. That's just some examples. So they just want you to look at your ideas, your perceptions of success, and just kind of evaluate that, I think. What else? Any other additional messages? What would you like them to leave behind in 2022? Okay, now that took me by complete surprise. All right. I don't know if I'm allowed to show certain tarot cards now that I got that age restriction. I don't even know anymore. I'm going to not show you some of the nude cards then. You got the Lovers over here, the Queen of Cups, the Empress, the Seven of Swords, the Sun, and the Three of Swords. I am really unsure about what I'm about to say, but I think some of you, there's a smaller number of you that may need to hear this message. It's totally unrelated to this. There's a chance, group 2, and be careful about this one because the nature of this is going to be tricky. There's a chance that Spirit is identifying a friendship for you or any kind of a connection or relationship for you that may not be in your highest good. So this, as you can see, is an external thing that they want you to consider walking away from in this year. What I'm seeing here, and I'll just show you these cards. Okay, so again, you have the two, I guess like, well, gender doesn't matter, but feminine energies here. Queen of Cups and the Empress, and then you have these three here. You have the Seven of Swords, the Sun, and the Three of Swords. This is someone who's very similar to you in a lot of ways. There could have been a history of some kind of disappointment, hurt, trauma, or wound of any kind. Within this connection, either now or there has been in the past, there could have been some untruths. There could have been even some deception if it's like an extreme case. If it's not this, if it's not deception and kind of hurt, what they're indicating here is that in the connection, there could be one of you withholding how you're really feeling or, you know, certain stressors that come up. So it's going to be a mixture of things. Everyone has a different situation. But in any regard, they're highlighting this connection where something is just a bit kind of off. So they're either they're asking you to look at this connection, right? There's a lot of love here, right? There's a lot of love between this person. I feel like it's true. I feel like it's friendship or whatever kind of connection that you may have. But there's just something imbalanced here, and I will get a little bit more, but I think that if you're thinking of this person and you know who this is, for some of you, this again, it's not for everyone, but you may be aware of this imbalance already. Maybe you're not, or they're not completely being honest about feelings or the situation, even though there's a history of a lot of joy that you have shared. I just think that's something. They're not really exactly explicitly saying it here. I'll get more cards, but there's just something that is unspoken or imbalanced or off in a painful kind of a way. Spirit, what is going on in this connection? What would you like them to know? So again, depending on your situation, and this is entirely up to you, whatever intuition you've already had about this connection, right? Some of you may have already thought that you've wanted to just walk away, kind of cut ties. Others of you, maybe you've wanted to speak to this person and clear the air. That's what they're asking you to do. So they want you to leave behind the sort of, I guess like the lack of communication or clarity or the tiptoeing around stuff, or they want you to leave behind the pain. You know, maybe you have to forgive a person, maybe they have to forgive you. You know, there just has to be some healing done here, and that's what they want you to leave behind, is this pain aspect. Any other messages about this connection, please? What do they need to leave behind? Yeah, this definitely surprised me. Five of Pentacles. Yeah, so again, all in all, it does seem like there is a bit of a disconnect. There's a lack here. There's a struggle here with either one of you or both of you in terms of this connection. So everyone is going to have a different status. I'm not sure where you stand currently, but wherever you stand, again, Spirit is asking you to look at this and to ask what is best for you right now. So I think I would probably say that I think the way we can answer that question is by kind of weighing the situation. Is there more harm than good? And if that's the case chronically, it may be best to kind of, again, evaluate what you wish to do here. Because if something is repeatedly more harm than good, you just have to ask yourself, is this worth it or not, you know? But for the rest of you, again, what could be needed here is just a simple conversation, some sort of reconciliation and healing of any kind. They don't want you to bring this energy into the new year. For those of you that choose to do so, to like repair the connection, then I think that there would be a really good potential for healing in the new year, if the both of you are on the same page, of course. So let's get a final message here. Any final messages for group number 2? What do you advise them to leave behind in 2022? And then I'll get an oracle card. Okay, yeah, it's kind of the same thing. We have Temperance, and what else? Okay, we have Temperance, we have Page of Swords kind of flipping upside down, and then we have the Ace of Swords. This has to do with some form of this has to do with mental now. This is not an outside situation. Bottom of the deck, I did notice this 9 of Swords. Again, the swords. So this has to do with your mind. This has to do with your state of mind. Something, even for some of you, it might have to do with a question that you've had. What they want you to bring into the new year is a state of mental peace and clarity. If this means for some of you, you have to kind of let go of a question you've had that's unanswered, or anything at all that's been kind of pestering you mentally, they want you to release this, and they want you to just have that peace. It's not easy to do, obviously, but they don't want you to walk into the new year with this sort of like repeating cycles or worries. So they just want you to kind of have that clarity, that space of clarity within. Let's get a final message. Spirit, what is your final message for group number 2, especially what you want them to leave behind or move towards in the new year, please? So this is gonna be different for everyone, definitely. But you got contract. So think carefully. This one could be related to any of these, or it could be something totally different. If you're not sure, you may want to wait like a week or two and then think back, like kind of put a star next to this. Think back. There is a particular situation right now, a contract, quote unquote, that you are in currently. It could be like a legitimate outer world contract, like regarding legal stuff. Yeah, that's probably not a great example. I think it's more of like an energetic sort of contract or an agreement in an emotional and energetic sense. They're asking you to look at this and asking you to figure out if you want to keep going with this supposed contract or end this contract. So again, it's kind of similar to what we already saw with the mental piece before, the expectations, and then also with this connection that we saw. What contract in your life do you just want to exit? What contract is over with? What contract is already fulfilled? Or what contract was sort of the wrong one to begin with? So these are some questions to think about before the end of the year. Try to catch yourself if you fall into these repeating cycles and these loops, either with yourself, and it could even be with habits or routines, or ideas, or obviously with other people or situations. So I know that was a lot, but they just want you to think about the whole word contract. What is this contract that you feel intuitively you want to walk away from at the end of this year and kind of start fresh? So that's a little bit of a thinker, lots to consider there. But that is the final advice that Spirit has for you. So group 2, this is what I'm seeing for you. I do hope that this was helpful, kind of tricky in some parts. But let me know below if this made sense, if it resonated, and if you want a personal reading rather than this general reading. The info is always below. I think I'm going to leave it there. And below, I will also link some related pick of cards I've done before, just in case they might be helpful in closing out these cycles of this year. Okay, thank you guys so much. Sending you love, and I will see you next time. Okay, take care. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, this is the reading for those of you that chose group number 3, which is the Desert Rose Selenite. So I may have to open the question up slightly, kind of just give the general advice, but you'll see what I mean. Spirit, this reading is for group 3, please. Our Desert Rose Selenite group. And what you'd like them to leave behind in 2022. Please provide us clear guided messages for group 3. Thank you. Okay. Spirit, generally speaking, for group number 3, what is your advice for them what would you like them to leave behind? What do you advise them to leave behind in 2022, please? Just generally speaking. Group 3, Desert Rose Selenite. All right. Group 3, I think, okay. So, please take this as it resonates, but, oh, and again, I said in the intro, please just follow your intuition and best judgment. You don't ever have to listen to me or anybody, just follow your intuition. But Spirit is advising you to leave behind something that you've been waiting for and it hasn't shown up yet, okay? I love how mysterious that is, but I think that for each of you individually, it will resonate. So if you look at this card and you're like, yeah, that's me. I've been waiting by the garden for a while now, and I've been waiting for something to come through, to bloom, to approach, and it just hasn't. Okay, so the reason obviously why Spirit is advising this is because they don't want to keep you waiting. They don't want you to have to feel like you're in a state of limbo, or like you're just suspended in air forever. They want you to feel at peace. They want you to have this new beginning and to feel unburdened, because I think that for many of you, you might have felt quite burdened by this. And it's interesting because this is not a card to say, as it does sometimes, that you've been patient. Yes, you have been patient, but I feel that on some level you've just been waiting and waiting and waiting, and that's not fair to you. Okay, I don't know what it is. I really have no clue what you've been waiting for, but again, this is going to resonate immediately if this is your group. Okay, so we had the King of Swords. This is a little bit of clarification that this could have been something that has affected your conscious mind a lot. It's been on your mind. It's been kind of nagging at you a bit. For a lot of you, it could have been disrupting your freedom of thought, your creativity, your ability to focus. So what is that thing? Seven of Pentacles. Feel free to let me know below what this thing has been for you. I'm actually very curious. Is there anything else we need to know? Seven of Pentacles, or any other message for group 3 so far? But so far, this reading has been the clearest. I think the other two I struggled with a bit, but this came out loud and clear. Now, with this Ace of Pentacles, another clue is that whatever you have been waiting for, you've been envisioning it to be this thing, this positive energy, this successful energy, any kind of positive or prosperous feeling, right? And this is not to say that you won't receive this when the time is right. But as life usually shows us, we can always be very wrong with particular expectations. Sometimes we're way off, and Spirit has this way of realigning so that we receive something 10 times better. You know how it goes. We think we have this plan, we think we have this exact idea, and sometimes it doesn't work out that way, but there's a reason for that. So whatever the case is, this is really not the area of advice. They're not making a comment about if it's going to come true or not. They just want you to leave behind the waiting aspect. So how to do that, maybe just you can visualize yourself detaching from this energy. You can focus on the new beginnings. You can focus on what's in front of you right here and now and just express that gratitude. And to practice mindfulness in the present, to be as present as you can. Because obviously, if you are not present, that we're elsewhere if we're not here. So they want you to just be present, to feel abundant with exactly what you have right here and now. Yeah, so that's what I'm seeing so far. There's going to be other messages, but that's the first one. So again, they're not asking you to give up on anything, just the feeling of that limbo. That's specifically what they're asking you to let go of, the feeling of just waiting around. Spirit, what else? In addition to this, what do you advise them to leave behind in 2022? I mean, obviously for some of you, based on your intuition, you might decide to leave behind this whole thing in general, but we'll see. What else? What do you advise them to leave behind in 2022, please? Desert Rose Selenite, please. All right, so you have here the Queen of Wands and the Three of Cups. What else? Can we clarify this, please? I'm not 100% sure, but and this may not be for everyone, but I think for some of you, the message is coming through that you may have been, or even now, you may be spending I think they're trying to say an imbalanced amount of time caring for the needs of one particular person in your life. And this is obviously not like a bad thing, but they're asking you to dial it back a little bit, because So for example, if you've been very social lately, or even if it wasn't in person, even if it's just like on the phone or whatever other way, they're indicating here that your focus and even your inner fire, your passion, that sort of inner enthusiasm or whatever, they're saying here that there's a chance it could be pouring out to an external source a lot, or it has been a lot lately. And the only reason they want you to consider leaving that imbalance behind is because it's been depleting you a little bit. This has, in an interesting way, possibly been taking away from your spiritual balance and even your creativity or even your psychic ability. So I find that very interesting. Again, consider carefully what this could be. It's going to be different for everybody, but from what I'm seeing here, it's probably a friendship or a situation that is, again, outside of yourself. It's the focus is outward. So it takes away from this internal sort of balance and peace. So let me know how that resonates, because that's interesting. Any other messages, please? What do they need to know? Well, how about for this one, Spirit? What do they need to know just about this? Yeah, I keep getting this feeling that you're unable, and in some way, you're perhaps, and it's not an obvious thing either, you may be a little unable to truly express either your spirituality or your creativity or just something with that like fluidity within yourself because of this external focus, whether it's on social events, friendships, or again, something just outside. And it even could be as simple as like helping other people with their problems, or just like really, really being there and loyal to other people. So again, balance is advised here, and to give a little bit of that energy to just fold it back, internally, so that you have a bit of more balance with yourself. Any additional messages, please? What would you advise them to leave behind in 2022, please, for group 3? Okay, so I think that for some of you, there could be just a little bit of a hesitation with healing a particular thing. I think here with the 3 of Wands and the Temperance, what I'm kind of feeling is just a bit of kind of looking away, turning away from a particular thing that you've wanted to heal for a long time. And the reason for this is because it has to do with a cycle that you've been in for a long time, with the World card here. So I think that what they're getting at is they want you to reach a sense of, again, peace, balance, and closure. So they want you to leave behind this right here, which is turning away and looking at everything else. This 3 of Wands, when I see this card in general, it looks like we're kind of looking out into the horizon, looking out into the future, what's to come, what can we do more of. But again, when we focus on outward things, we're not focusing on inward things. So just consider, what is it? What is it that I have to heal, that I've been avoiding healing perhaps, or that has been difficult to finish healing in a sense? I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what they're asking you to look at. Now, I do have other pick a cards regarding healing and blockages, so I am going to link that below. Let me remind myself here about healing, okay? And those could be helpful in kind of figuring this one out. I mean, ideally, we could all do some major healing and transformation before the end of the year, but it doesn't have to necessarily be at the end of the year, as long as you're just taking those steps. Okay, so there's a lot of messages. Let me get a final pull. Spirit, any final messages for group number 3 in this topic? Okay, and then the 2 of Cups. It's kind of the same thing. Let me see what's at the bottom. 7 of Cups. Yeah, this is nothing new. I'm going to pull an oracle card next, final message there. But yeah, this is kind of the same thing. It's just showing, again, like I feel like it's that balance. There, with this card, though, with the 2 of Cups, I am feeling something with the throat chakra and communication. So, they're asking you to look at the amount that you communicate in general. If you communicate to other people on a regular basis a lot. Again, same message. They want you to communicate a little bit more with yourself. And I always talk about journal writing. It's the easiest way to communicate with ourselves, and it just feels so healing and like such a release. So that's something to consider. And another added bonus message is, if you don't communicate with others in terms of what you're actually feeling and your truths, you know, your true expression, that's something they want you to do more of in the next year, is to really express yourself. So let's get a final card here, the Energy Oracle. Spirit for group 3. Any other final messages that you have for them, group 3, please? Thank you. Okay, your final card. You have here man holding a coin. Okay, that's a little mysterious. Let me just grab another clarifier. Spirit, why man holding a coin? What do they have to know about this card? I mean, it does certainly look like the Ace of Pentacles from before. But the fact that it's man holding a coin is kind of mysterious to me. You have the garden and the gate. So from what I can sense here, actually, it's exactly the same thing. That's kind of weird. Look, you got before the garden. Remember I mentioned that? Weird. Ace of Pentacles. See, it's the same thing. You have the garden again and that coin again. So maybe they're just circling back to the original message. But what I am seeing is the fact that you have the key here. Okay, so the key is in your possession. You own the key, or you hold the key to this gate. So in other words, you are able to free yourself from any kind of thing that you feel blocked by, or, you know, like kind of, I guess, captive by, in a sense. Other than that, yeah, that's, I think, honestly, I feel like it's just a confirmation message. So that's what I'm seeing here. Let me get one more, though. Spirit, any final message, please, for group number 3 for this topic? Thank you. You have another man card. I don't know what's going on with the man card. You have the thinking man, okay? And then you have here the quartz cluster that he's holding. I think it's the same thing. Okay, so for you guys in group 3, there is a chance that there is a masculine energy that you are, you know, concerned with, or, you know, maybe something was going through with this other person, whether they're male or female. And a lot of it had to do with the thoughts. Remember I said that before? It's again confirming the same exact thing. I think this had to do with your thoughts and the way that this was just, you know, affecting your state of peace and your state of well-being. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing. So group 3, a couple different things came through today, but I do hope that this resonated. I hope it was helpful. If you did find it helpful, feel free to subscribe and share. And if you want a personal reading, the info for that is always below. Okay, so thank you so much. Sending you blessings, and I hope to see you next time. Okay, take care. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, this is the reading for those of you that chose group number 4, which is the smoky quartz. So I'm going to shuffle and get into the energy, and the question, I might have to open up the question slightly because the other readings is a little tricky to get just this question. You'll see what I mean though. Spirit, this reading is for group number 4, please. And what you advise them to leave behind in 2022. Thank you. Please provide us clear guided messages for group 4. So again, I said in the intro, please always follow your intuition and your best judgment. This is just guidance, especially if it's confirming what you already know. So just something I always want to tell people. Spirit, for group number 4, smoky quartz, what do you advise them to leave behind in 2022? They might also tell you what to sort of look towards to bring in the new year, but we'll see. Smoky quartz, group 4. What do you want them to leave behind in 2022? Okay. This first message is about your internal state. I've been getting kind of like different ones for each group. So we have the 6 and the 4 of Pentacles first. All right. What I'm getting from the 6 of Pentacles, immediately what I felt was, yes, something having to do with an imbalance. There's too little of something, or, well, obviously like too little or too much of something. But in this case, what I'm kind of seeing here is definitely a form of a restriction, a blockage, almost like a forcefulness. I think for some of you, you might be, or you might have been in the recent, kind of forcing yourself to, it's interesting. It's like some of you might be forcing yourself to think about something and then not think about a different thing. So I'm going to get for you what I think that this is talking about. But what I'm feeling from these two cards, it feels kind of unnatural. It's stressful, I have to tell you. I feel like this energy is not natural to your being. I feel like it's restricting your sense of freedom and even your sense of authenticity. So in that way, it of course can become a burden, because that's what happens when we're not being true to ourselves. We immediately feel this within our spirit. So let's find out what this is, even though by now it should kind of sound familiar. Spirit group 4, what do they need to leave behind? Can you tell us more? Yeah, same thing. We have the King of Pentacles, okay? And then we have the Knight of Cups. But I want to show you the King of Pentacles more closely. You can see, look at his face, okay? He is closing his eyes. He's not looking at something, and he's just sitting there on the throne, and he's just like, I'm not moving. You can't make me move. If there's something in your life that makes you feel this way, Spirit is really asking you to look at this, and they're asking you to open your eyes, so to speak. They're asking you to pay attention to this thing that you've been either ignoring or kind of trying to shy away from. I don't really know the different reasons for why this could be, but they're asking you to look at that. And what they're asking you to leave behind is that forceful energy or avoidant energy, I think. Let me get more information. Spirit, can you tell us more, just generally anything, for group number 4? What do they need to leave behind in 2022? It feels like you're making yourself do something or be something. Yeah, like sincerely, this is stressful. If you could tell me in the comments, what is this? I would be very curious to know. Spirit, what do they need to know? What do they need to leave behind in 2022? I wonder how long you can kind of put up with that as well. So I don't know if this is a different message, but let me see. We have the 3 of Wands, the Page of Swords, and, the 9 of Swords and the 8 of Wands. I think this may have to do with movement, okay? Well, yes, this could be physical movement or like relocation movement, but it also could be in any way expansion. There's fear here. There's anxiety here. There's, this could be chronic worry. Okay, here's what I think is the bottom line of what Spirit's message is for you. There is a positive direction for you to move forward, right? But what they want you to think about is, what is that direction? If you're not sure of what that is, then you can meditate on this and say to your guides, in my highest good, please show me the path that is beneficial to me. Because what they're indicating here is that although you may be focused on movement forward and expanding of yourself and trying new things, moving forward in your life, if this doesn't feel right to you, then essentially this movement is not for you. So again, this is what they're asking you to look at. So similar to a lot of this sort of chronic group 4 energy, what I'm getting here is the message of the central message of, you have to be true to yourself. This keeps coming up, I think, for you guys. I'm sure you've heard me say this a bunch of times before, that you have to be true to yourself. So in the description, I am going to link Again, if you haven't seen it already, the pick of cards I've done for being true to yourself, which is about your soul. What does your soul want to tell you? What is your, your inner truth, or whatever? I'll link it below if you're interested. But it's, I swear I've seen this so many times. What is this worry? What is this anxiety? Right? This is not, it's interesting because this is not anxiety about the future exactly. This is almost like an identity, or like this sort of existential worry that I'm getting here. Wow. Yeah, I've commented on this, read about this a lot. I know this. I know you've heard me say this before. Spirit, what do we need to know, please, for group number 4? What do they need to leave behind in 2022? They didn't give me a card for this, but they just gave it in my head. They said, I guess the thing to leave behind is the mask. The mask that doesn't fit. The armor that doesn't fit. I was going to mention armor, but I didn't. The armor that does not fit. It's making you, suffocated, I think, for a lot of you. Okay, what else? What do they need to know? What do they need to leave? What do you want them to leave behind in 2022? Group 4, smoky quartz. They're giving me a message, before I flip these, they're giving me a message regarding your creativity. I do think that this burdensome, restrictive energy I felt earlier, I think it's really squashing your creativity. Another group got that as well. You may have been attracted to one of the other groups. If that's the case, if you were equally attracted to one of the other groups or drawn to the other groups, please check that out, because there's something there for you as well. I don't know. I can't tell you which one, because it's whatever you were drawn to. I feel your creativity has been affected here. Okay. So what I mean by that is, like, any of your passionate ideas, anything that makes you feel genuinely you, anything that makes you feel like alive in a creative sense, like that joyous sense. Nothing to do. Well, I mean, I guess it can be like your what's the word I'm looking for? I'm getting like kind of tongue-tied, but mentally this is weird. This is something, yes, it's specifically passionate energy, passionate creative energy, or anything fiery. Okay, so we have here, this is interesting. We have Temperance, 10 of Cups, and 10 of Pentacles. Look at that. There's healing, there's peace, there's balance, there's harmony. I just don't know where it's coming from. I don't know. I can only assume that this is what you wish for, that this is what you want for your future. You just want peace for yourself. You want peace for those around you. You want peace potentially with someone else or other people. And I think that that's the hint here, that again, if you were to resolve this imbalance within yourself, I feel like you will feel worlds better. This is what you seek, is just peace with yourself. And then this will, of course, create peace with your outer world. Is there any additional message besides this one? Anything else? Is there anything physical that you want them to leave behind? Any other mental aspects? Anything for group number 4, please? So we have the Star, we have the 3 of Pentacles. This is regarding your spirit team here. I can see that. Okay. Some of you may have, or a lot of you may have identified as a starseed. I'm going to just say that right there. What they want you to leave behind is sort of your amnesia for your mission. They want you to remember your soul and who you really are, and even like where you come from. I know that's like a strange thing to say, because a starseed technically is not from this planet, or I don't really know exactly the theory behind it, but they want you to realign with your spirit team. They want you to realign with the true nature of your soul. So what you could do is you could meditate on channeling messages, or just like meeting your higher self or any of your guides, or just kind of feeling this detached cosmic energy, detached from Earth is kind of what I mean. They want you to remember. That was powerful. almost like a sidebar message, weirdly enough, but it came through. Let's get a final one. I think I'm going to use probably the Gilded Tarot just for one more pull. Any other final messages for group number 4? What do you want them to leave behind in 2022? Well, that is probably the clearest message that we have. Hold on. Okay, so group 4, to put it very simply, and you have even a bottom deck energy message, you got the Devil card, okay? And then you got the 5 of Wands, and then on the bottom you got the Tower. So again, this is a bit more on the nose. They want you to leave behind this darkness. So this is darkness in the form of, again, any imbalances. Maybe it's negative habits, things that don't serve you. It could be your ego self, your lower self, kind of just like always knocking you into some sort of temptations or conflicts, chaos or confusion. I know that this is a tall order. This is like a really significant thing to leave behind, especially if you've been caught in patterns. I didn't say it would be easy, but they are asking you to consider leaving this behind in any way that you can. How can I can probably recommend watching some of my old pick of cards regarding healing, but this is something, man, let's get an advice just for this one, because it's going to be a journey in itself. Can you tell us the best way, just the best way that they can leave this behind? Please, the Devil energy and company. Oh, I know. I know what they were going to say. Hold on, let's just get a card for that. That's funny. Okay. So the first thing that they wanted to say, and how you can walk away from this energy, how can we leave behind darkness, is by moving towards light. So the answer is love, right? The energy of love. So this is interesting to me because I was just doing a meditation on this for myself. So when I personally align with love, and this is something I only started to recently do, I kind of just work with the heart chakra, and I open it up and I open myself to receive love from divine, from the collective, from myself, from the angels, from pretty much everywhere and everyone. I picture it as like this overflowing golden cup of light, golden light or pure light in any way, and just like washing my entire being. And I just try to feel that energy. To me, it feels warm, it feels safe, it feels obviously loving. This is unconditional love. So if you want, you can do a meditation on receiving love, or just, aligning with that energy itself. It's pure. Try it at least just once. There's probably at this rate meditations for that on YouTube, guided meditations. But that's what they want you to do. Now, if you are able to do that, you're going to get moving to a lot of positivity. You have the 8 of Wands, you have the 9 of Cups. This is joy, this is peace, and this is the freedom from any kind of stagnation, okay? So it works for you. Okay, so again, try, if you feel called to, that type of a meditation to align with the energy of love, or to open your heart chakra to feel this love come through. And, in theory, love is the strongest form of light. It's the strongest form of healing, the strongest energy of healing. So this should help. This should help you to leave behind the darkness, okay? So let's get a final pull here. Can we please have a final message for group 4? What is your advice for them, group 4? Okay, your final card is 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel. So 5th chakra this time is the throat, right? Am I counting right? Yeah, the throat chakra. So this has to do with your expression and your truth, as well as your communication, right? So, maybe practice writing down simple truths for yourself, right? Anything at all. What do you align with, or what do you consider your truths of who you are, of, of your soul, whatever the case is? or just expressing yourself through writing or speaking. This is something that's advised. And Archangel Gabriel may be helpful to you in your journey right now to help you through fears, to help you through, just guidance and clarity. All right. I think a lot of the groups got the angel cards. So group number 4, this is what I have for you. I really hope that this was helpful. Let me know if it resonated. Quite a journey here in this reading. So remember, it's general. Personal reading info is always below. And I will have linked some related pick a cards that I've done that if you feel called, you can watch those as well. Okay, so thank you so much. If you did find it helpful, please subscribe and share. And other than that, send you love, send you blessings, and I will see you next time. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.